Trumpageddon, Episode 2. Joan wiggled her toes over the edge of a cliff at the Grand Canyon, grinding the warm dirt under her bare feet. The strong wind threatened to hurl her over the edge, but she held on a moment to look at the blazing Arizona sun, then dropped 1,000 feet, shattering her body against the rocks below. She kicked some of the orange dirt over the edge and watched it fall, and jumped again, and again. Joan rolled her eyes and left the Virtua room to find Felix curled up and waiting for her outside the door as always. They hopped on the trolley pad and rode it to the common area where Joan joined her father Bernard. He was watching with glee as the TV wall reported the U.S. presidential election results. She plopped onto the couch and complained,
"Turn off that nonsense, Daddy. You always say don't watch the plebes propaganda, but then you're always watching it."
"Oh dear, I think this is very big news for us. We may be looking at exponential growth within weeks." "I'm bored, Daddy." "Your mother always said I'd spoil you to death." "You always say that." "Well, I'm entitled." "So you are too. What can I do to make everything amazing for my little princess today? Have you tried all the new holo games I bought you?" "Not all of them, but they're all the same." "Oh, posh. You can do anything. I never had toys like this when I was growing up, I assure you. You can stand atop Everest or swim the depths of the ocean, witness the birth of the universe, or fight demons in the apocalypse. They are not all the same. And they cost me a small fortune. Luckily, I have a vast fortune. But I didn't get it by..." Joan sighed. "Well, what if we take a trip?" "We're on a trip, Daddy. What good is it when I can't go down to the beach?" "Oh, Princess, you know the sun doesn't affect me the way it does you or them." "Well, that's the point, isn't it? You're not one of them. And if they ever got their hands on me..." Yeah, I know, Daddy." Bernard paced the sparsely furnished penthouse floor until he flashed on an idea. "Charlotte, what are some fun activities for a young adult Pantheon class?" A disembodied voice emanated from all around them. "Here is a list of all available activities in the compound. No sign-up necessary." "Stop, Charlotte. I meant possible activities outside the compound. All alpha-level citizens are..." "Never mind, Charlotte." "Maybe you should just send me to the compound, Daddy." "No. It can't be worse than this. You're my daughter, and I don't want you under their thumb. We're going to get out without them. You need to be completely free to carry..." "You call this being free? I'm going to the beach. And tell your goons to stay away from me." "Joni." The white-suited goons blocked the door. Bernard waved them to let her go. 2 hours later, she was back and bored as ever. It was so weird. It felt good and bad at the same time. Like, I felt almost offended that everyone around me was oblivious to who I am, what I am, compared to them. But I knew that if they were to find out, it could be bad. "Well, I hope you got it out of your system. There's no difference between the outside and the virtual rooms except danger." "That's the problem. There's no risk. You keep me in this enormous cage, but it's still a cage. It's safe, but I'm suffocating. Please do something." Bernard thought hard. "Charlotte..." No more lame AI answers. You put me here, Daddy. You fix it." At that moment, Felix rose to full height and danced between them. He pointed a paw at the TV wall. There was a vocalist belting out some American anthem after Trump's victory speech. She was fiery and inspiring, so much confidence and energy, excitement for a better day. It was contagious. Bernard and Joan both realized what Felix was trying to say. "Oh no." "Yes, Daddy, that's it. I want to be a pop star." "Oh, it's so vapid. You can surely find some more noble endeavor." "Well, maybe not a pop star." "Charlotte, What kind of music will be the most popular for the next year? The genres of Christian music and ambient goth metal will be the only genres earning significant plays over the foreseeable future. That can't be right, Charlotte. Ew, confirmed, goth it is. As of the latest predictive models, the cited data are correct. What do you know about them, Joni? Only what I learned in history. Crusades, inquisitions, witch hunts. No, thank you. Goth sounds cool. Joni, I am not making you a death metal star. Charlotte, play some ambient goth metal samples, please. Do not say please to the robot. Why not? She's my best friend. Felix whined and curled up under the couch. I didn't mean it like that. Hey, this sounds really cool. I want this, Daddy. Joni, you always say anything I want, and then when I tell you, it's always Joni. Bernard sighed. He sat down on the couch and thought, Charlotte, play Christian music samples. Turn it off, my God. All right, princess, you win. Now, go to bed and let me make some calls. Daddy will make it happen for you. Yay! Thank you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy. She showered him with kisses and skipped off to her bedroom with Felix. She didn't sleep for hours. She was listening to album after album of who would soon be her contemporaries. The wide grin from his kisses soon disappeared. Bernard sat on the couch with his elbows on his knees and his head in his hands. The forecast was worrisome. This is what he wanted, right? Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He rose from his chair with a bounce. Charlotte, create a goth metal whatever album using an AI version of Joni's voice. Make it mediocre. Place it on all the relevant playlists so that it gets just enough traction to make Joni happy, if she even remembers tomorrow. Joni remembered. Her album was already climbing charts. Joni had a new plan. Why should she listen to hours of music she didn't really understand when Daddy could just upload all things goth overnight? So it was that the next night, Bernard was making one of those calls he promised. 𝚃𝚁𝚄𝙼𝙼 appeared in his usual Valentino. Bernard smiled. Welcome, General. Do we have good news? Of course. The orange imbecile signed on to Armageddon like he was paying off a porn star. But that's not why you called me. No. Bernard doused the summoning sage and pulled off his third eye crown. I need another plug-in for Joni. How fast can Merlin get me an upload for ambient goth metal music? She wants to sing, play guitar, the works. The works? Within reason. Don't rape me. Well, Bernard, you're still 6,000 soul credits in the red. My corn syrup companies alone will bring that within the month. But you know how alphas are. She'll be a terror if I wait that long. And anyway, we will have all the mana in a matter of months. I would question how she plans to make use of these talents if it weren't so close to the end game. I still think you're playing with fire, but standard credit rates will apply. So I'll put 𝚃𝚁𝚄 on the job. He should be back before dawn, I think. Goodbye, Bernard. 𝚃𝚁𝚄 keyed his wristband and flickered out of reality and into hell. As always, he was swarmed by a horde of thirsty imps and hangers-on, beggars for a chance in his army. He kicked them aside and motioned for 𝚃𝚁𝚄 to follow him into his chambers. After a brief explanation, 𝚃𝚁𝚄 complained, "But sir, Merlin is in ancient Rome for another week. I don't know the protocols." Again? Someone assassinated Caesar before the Battle of Tarsus on the front lines. Merlin is to jump into a nearby soldier and block the blade. This is becoming ridiculously complex. Just make the plug-in, everything occult, and occult music. Don't worry about the protocols. Armageddon will bring utter chaos. She will not matter. President Trump visited several cities along the southeast coast today with a message of encouragement after a torrent of bowling ball-sized hail buffeted these now devastated communities. Let's listen in. And you're all going to be fine. You're going to be well cared for. We have a refugee camp and mobile manufacturing compound ready to put starving families back to work. We have research teams who will seed the clouds. You're not going to see this happen again, I assure you. But the deadly hailstones would continue on as the administration killed electric car production and doubled the amount of oil imports from the UAE. And fracking would soon render disastrous consequences. Gama and Gemma had been best friends since childhood. They went to school together in Uvalde, Texas, and their families attended the same iglesia. After marriage, they waited to start a family, while Gemma supported Gama through college, working as a clerk for the church. He had been teaching at Uvalde Elementary for a year when Gemma finally became pregnant. Gemma possessed the kind of faith that could move mountains. She believed with absolute certainty in the God of the Bible. When she put her hands on the sick or the distraught, they were healed. And when they were not, she knew her God was still in control and his plan was far greater than her own human understanding. Gemma talked to God every day, but more often she would let God attend to more important matters and she just chatted with her guardian angel. He told her his name was Eliphaz. And so when Gemma was hit head on by a drunk driver, she called out to Eliphaz in her final moments. She knew he was hovering just above her, waiting to receive her into heaven, to take her to Jesus. And as Gemma breathed her last breath, Eliphaz indeed watched and waited eagerly to escort her joyous soul to the throne of heaven to meet her Maker. Bible verses roared through his mind as he watched the cooling corpse with increasing impatience. Surely her soul would be forthcoming any second now. How fortunate to be a faithful servant of the living God. His chest swelled with pride, and he cooled his faltering heart with the soothing mantras his friend had shared so many times. Everything in God's time. God is in control. Eliphaz raised his hands to the heavens with a blissful smile. Thy will be done, Lord, not mine. But as police arrived and removed her body from the wreckage, he began to worry. He could not remember this ever happening. He was scared to death of leaving Gemma's corpse, lest he miss her eventual release. But now others were coming. Eliphaz composed himself. He put his hand on his sword and jutted his chin in the air as a pair of angels approached just above the police examining poor Gemma. Why are you so big? You got some energy to share with the rest of us? The other angel jeered as they approached Eliphaz at eye level. Eliphaz gulped. He didn't know why he was so big, or perhaps why they were so small, but he quickly shrunk to conform with these fellows of seeming authority. Pardon, brothers, might I trouble you gentlemen for a word of advice? How about you just answer? The angel was interrupted by his partner's hand on his chest. Wait, brother, let's see if we can, help our friend here. What's troubling you, stranger? Oh, thank you so much. I was this woman's guardian angel, but she passed 3 hours ago and her soul has never emerged from her body. Does it normally take this long? I can't seem to remember. You can't seem to remember, you say? Eliphaz saw a smile flicker across the angel's face that did not look kind. And suddenly he felt like these might not be his friends after all. It was then that he noticed both angels were marked with sigils instead of halos. May I ask what the symbol above your heads represents? This? Why, this is the holy sign of Uriel. Which archangel do you serve? You forgot to display your army. This caught Eliphaz off guard for a moment, but Gemma had drilled into his mind so many times the words, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." He found himself surprised and proud of his own indignance as he proclaimed, "I serve only the Most High God, Yahweh, Elohim, Jesus of Nazareth." The partners shared a greedy smile. Whoa, calm down, brother. You don't remember which archangel you serve? The two kept exchanging glances as one circled behind Eliphas. Where is Gemma? That's all I want to know. He's a shifter. Get him! The agents of Uriel pounced on Eliphas, biting and tearing and devouring his glorified flesh. Eliphas screamed and flailed. He was already weakening. Within seconds, half of his body was gone, and he was flickering out of existence. Stop, glutton. There will be nothing left to trade. The angels stepped away and watched as Eliphas fought back the darkness. Here he comes. He's strong. We're going to bank with this one. Enjoy the cold abyss, leeches. Like a flash of lightning, an ephemeral sword severed the heads of the assailants, and it was the bodies of the angels that dissolved as Eliphas's form slowly replenished itself. Eliphas lifted his gaze and saw an oil-slick, blue-skinned demon. Finally, those two have been the bane of my existence for 2 months now. Are you going to be all right? Eliphas collected himself as he cautiously measured the new potential threat. Why did you save me? I didn't. I was killing those two scumbags. That's a fine comment coming from your kind. The demon aimed her sword at his face. You judge me? They were the ones trying to kill you. What happened to judge not, lest ye be judged? She dropped her sword in derision. Yes, you're right. I apologize. They said they were going to sell me. The demon looked aside as if she were about to do something she was going to regret. She watched the police zipping up the body bag for Gemma's corpse. Yeah, I know you don't understand, but it's okay. I understand what's going on perfectly. I can show you what happened to Gemma's soul and what they had planned for you. Really? Why would you do that for me? Why? Well, not for free or anything. You can owe me a favor. Eliphas's face dropped. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. I cannot go into debt to a demon. That much I do know. Oh, a demon. Loh'raij clutched her cheek. I used to be the storm goddess of the most revered deity in the land, and now it's just demon. Things aren't as they seem, and you really shouldn't judge, but suit yourself. If you change your mind, just ask any demon you see to bring you to Queen Loh'raij. Queen, Yes, I'm honored. Thank you. And thank you again for saving me from those pirates. It was my pleasure. My name is Eliphas. Well, there's another thing you know. Good luck on your journey, Eliphas. I've no doubt it will be epic. And Loh'raij was gone. Gemma was long gone. Eliphas asked the sky, what do I do now?